11 traps that sabotage your spiritual growth. Eternal darkness instead of enlightenment. Spiritual growth is a dynamic process that is never really complete. In each of our lives, we can only try to get a little closer to our goal. What helps us to do this? A mindful life, a good upward relationship, and the certainty that eternal life and enlightenment await us at the end of all days. However, the path there is lined with all kinds of undergrowth, stumbling blocks, and distractions. Here we reveal the pitfalls you need to avoid in order not to jeopardize your spiritual growth. 1. You rely on it too much. Nurturing your spiritual side doesn't mean that your life suddenly mutates into a comfortable self-runner. There are clear advantages to having the backing of God or the universe, but no one will do all the work for us here on earth. Sometimes we have to walk through the famous dark valley all alone, and there will be no omen to be seen far and wide. 2. Earthly concerns are more important to you. The many worldly distractions that sabotage us on a daily basis are among the ballast that prevents us from striving for spiritual heights. This doesn't just mean human attachments, which sometimes do more harm than good to our spiritual well-being. Being tied to possessions, the pursuit of material goods, and ego cultivation also fall into this category. Those who ruthlessly work on their image or career will also not achieve spiritual advancement. 3. You want to save the whole world. We are greatly honored to embrace Christian charity, Buddhist community spirit, and any other form of social obligation that religions or creeds suggest to us. The great disadvantage of this exuberant willingness to help, however, is that we quickly lose sight of ourselves. If you want to do good, do it every day in the smallest circle and in secret. No one can save the whole world, at least not without going down with it. 4. The victim role is your favorite. We all know people like this. They are the martyrs, the penitents, the exemplary sufferers, and always the ones in the front row who display their willingness to sacrifice and their hard lot without restraint. Spirituality is a catch-all for many demands and needs. However, those who wallow in the role of victim and only crave pity will not experience true spiritual growth. 5. Everyday life must wait. Spirituality must never be an excuse for not being able to fulfill one's duties. Anyone who wants to make a comfortable life for themselves at the expense of others while putting forward their religious ambitions has not understood the purpose of a religious community. Human life must be dedicated to spirituality, not the other way around. Using faith as a lame excuse for not having to do your bit certainly doesn't work. 6. Everything is probably pointless. This trap lurks for almost every believer or spiritually anchored person. There will always be times of doubt. Life crises, strokes of fate, and other serious events often lead us to question everything around our faith. These thoughts are perfectly normal and even justified from time to time. However, we should not let them win. 7. You really want to leave your mark. Spirituality brings out the best, but unfortunately sometimes also the worst in us. However, any form of radicalization should be rejected from an interpersonal perspective. Religions should unite, not divide. Nevertheless, people keep falling into precisely this trap. Out of a misunderstood sense of duty, they want to leave their mark on the world and leave behind a kind of legacy. Spiritual growth, however, takes place within us, and demonstrative actionism will at best slow us down, but not drive us forward. 8. A pronounced helper syndrome. This tripwire will be the undoing of all those who take charity too literally and too personally. Helping is certainly an important part of our spiritual development. However, it must not mutate into an end in itself or push itself to the fore. The growth that ultimately brings us closer to our creative spirit takes place within us. The outside is necessary, but not the stage for a successful showdown. 9. Proselytizing at all costs. The next serious mistake on the path to enlightenment is the obsession with convincing as many people as possible of one's own world of faith. In the history of mankind, proselytizing has never produced only good things. Faith and personal worldview are extremely private, almost intimate areas that everyone must and may decide for themselves. 10. You feel superior to others. Religious fanaticism has many faces. It begins with the fact that some religions propagate a clear policy of exclusion towards non-believers, and thus create a spiritual two-tier society. Individuals can also fall prey to the mistaken belief that they are something better or a superior person because they have a line to the top. No religious belief can offer us spiritual growth that puts the I before the we. If you think you are superior, you are definitely on the wrong track when it comes to spiritual awakening. 11. Spirituality serves you mainly as a distraction. An interesting wrong path we can take when it comes to religious transformation is this. Many people use their spiritual side to distract themselves from the unpleasantness of their everyday lives. They literally take refuge in their faith or esoteric practices in order to close their eyes to the real world. This is abuse, and no spiritual current or belief system, no matter how understanding, will be able to save you from the hubris that follows. Spirituality must not be instrumentalized. Stagnation and regression instead of growth. You can actually do a lot wrong when striving for enlightenment. Life is sometimes so difficult and opaque that we grasp at any crutch that presents itself. Anyone who then literally misuses their spirituality to distract, comfort, or subject themselves to selfish self-realization has not understood its meaning. We only sabotage our true greatness with this behavior. This lies within us and is nourished by the constant connection to our higher powers. These watch over our path to our goal with suspicious eyes, and karma doesn't like it when we misuse and instrumentalize the divine spark within us.